Nearly 2 weeks ago, Cyclone Nargis ripped through Myanmar, killing between 60,000 and 100,000 people. Today, up to 2 million survivors desperately wait for clean water, food, and shelter.
My frustration levels are rising, let's put it that way.
John Holmes is the United Nations Emergency Relief Coordinator.
Biggest problem there is access to the Delta international staff and not being allowed to move around that area at all freely. National staff can, but that's we need to supplement that with seasoned international experts as soon as they get there.
The military dictatorship that runs Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, has kept its doors shut to most foreign aid, despite death tolls that rise daily.
They have not been willing to accept that kind of help so far, and that's a huge problem. Because simply they don't have the capacity themselves to do it. They say they do, but we know very well that they don't.
They're very worried that they'll lose control of things if foreigners come in and start talking to people, influencing people, helping people. This is a junta that has its grip on everything throughout society, throughout the economy, and it's afraid of anything that might pry it loose. They don't want to be embarrassed in the eyes of their people by having a lot of foreigners come in and be their savior.
A New York Times reporter inside Myanmar confirms that some foreign aid has arrived, but it's not enough.
There were villages where people said, no one has come to see us, you're the first outsider. There were villages where they said, yeah, well, a helicopter landed in that field and they delivered rice to us. And there were refugee camps where there seemed to be plenty of aid. You don't see starvation. This is a lush rice-growing area. There's always going to be something to eat, but it's usually, this kind of rotten rice is, eaten by pigs, not humans.
All aid is channeled through Myanmar's military. That concerns international donors. Some soldiers are hoarding rice and selling it.
This is an impoverished country. Lower-ranking soldiers are no exception to that. For them, it's a money-making opportunity.
I've heard a number of reports from the marketplaces that there are donations of Thailand that are being sold, things like that.
The United Nations says its presence in Myanmar is essential to prevent corruption and further loss of life.
We're pushing as hard as we can, but it's a very uphill struggle and we're extremely frustrated.
But inside Myanmar, there seems to be other priorities.
So I was detained for about an hour and a half by the military, and this argument broke out among the villagers and the military. And the villagers were saying, why are you detaining this foreigner? He's here to help us. And the military replied, this foreigner is going to send facts to the world, is going to send a picture of what has happened here. And it will show that the Burmese government is weak.
You cannot buy the rice from the farmers because farmers also already dead. There is no rice. That's why the people go get